Right now, a weather alert day continues today, bringing snow, sleet, and ice to much of southern Wisconsin. Our team coverage will tell you what to expect in your area. Plus, how companies are working to get a controversial chemical off grocery store shelves. This is News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Our first warn alert day continues today. A winter storm will bring snow, freezing rain, and ice to parts of southern Wisconsin. Some of our DOT cams have completely iced over. Plows are out right now and will be for the duration of the storm. Dane County officials say make sure that your phones are charged and you know where your flashlights are as utility crews prepare for power outages.
Emergency management has been in contact with the utilities and first responders all week, planning for anything that could occur. Again, we don't believe, we hope for the best, but we always want to be prepared for anything that's out there. So Dane County Emergency
If you do lose power, Parisi urges everyone to stay in their homes, but check on more vulnerable neighbors, friends, and family members. We have live team coverage as the storm continues to move in. Our Catherine Merck is live in Janesville, keeping an eye on conditions in Rock County, and meteorologist Greg Barnhart is here tracking the storm from our studio here in Madison. Let's begin with Greg. What's the latest?
Yeah, pretty much the ice is starting to form. Like we said, Janesville switched over to freezing rain too. I think we'll get up sleet here. So it's all the warm air being pulled northward. So that's going to be the change for at least southern Wisconsin. The heavy snow north of the Dells. They'll continue to see snow, maybe a little mixture of sleet too later on. Right now, Platteville already has precipitation going on at 30 degrees too. So right now we're sitting at that low 30s. And you can see the pink is more sleet mixture. You get some over the purple. It's more freezing rain. So it's beginning to pull northward. Like I said, north of Madison towards the Dells, it's more snow, maybe change with some sleet. So it's really just south along Dane County and then southward that the area we're watching for as we zoom in. You can see there's your temperatures too. So we're hovering right around the low 30s, which is really a perfect temperature to get the freezing rain that will have it start accumulating too for areas that you'd already noticed on that webcam too. To the north, that's your snow from last night, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 inches, typically a little bit more as you get towards further north. They're going to see more of that in the last 3 hours, more ice accumulation south, but that'll definitely change here in the next 3 hours. As you see, visibility overall, 1 to 3 miles more to the snow to the north, but visibility won't be too bad with the winds, even though we don't have the snow on the ground. Those are strong winds. They could have some damage issues if we accumulate enough ice with those winds on tree branches or power lines. It just depends. There's the massive storm with the amount of moisture being pulled northward. You can see heavy rain, even severe weather to the south being pulled with this. The backside, there's your snow towards Sioux Falls. So it's a very complex, large system, and more of the systems out to the west that may impact us too. So that's what we're going to be looking at too. If you look at the overall, the big picture, we're going to break all this down with all the ice storms, blizzard warnings, watches, and all the winter fun we got going on. Unfortunately, I'll break that down a little bit later.
So the worst is yet to come.
Yeah, the worst is yet to come, probably through the evening.
All right, Greg, thank you. We'll check back. Looking at highway conditions on the 511 map, you can see all of southern Wisconsin is covered in snow and ice. The Beltline is also ice covered, so if you're heading out, be sure to drive carefully. Take your time to get where you're going. We have reporting teams around our area tracking conditions as they develop this afternoon, and Catherine Merck is in Rock County and joins us with more there. Catherine, what's happening?
Hi, Mark. That's right. I'm in downtown Janesville right now, and what I'm seeing isn't necessarily the fun winter stuff that you like to see on these kind of days. What's coming down right now is sort of this mix of sleet and rain, and it goes back and forth between that. And when it builds up on the roads, you can see what Greg is starting to say we're going to see the rest of the afternoon, which is sort of a slushy ice mix building up on the roads. Today, I spoke with the city operations director with the Public Works Department in Janesville. She tells me that the strategies that they're going to take because of this type of precipitation is going to be different than normal. The plows just started their long days, and they're starting with salt. She said with this weather that's expected to be this mix of rain, snow, and ice, the response is going to look different.
We're not going to be scraping because really we don't see any accumulation occurring, so it'll be salting. Right now it's so uncertain if it's going to be freezing rain, sleet, there'll be a little snow in there. The temperature is such that it might just be rain. It might turn out to be mostly rain, and that obviously would change our strategy a lot too.
We're going to continue to watch these conditions here in Rock County. As for what the city says about staying on these roads, they're saying not to do that at all. They're telling you to stay inside if at all possible, not to go to work remotely if possible, whatever looks best to make sure that you can stay safe. Reporting live in Janesville, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
All right, Catherine, be safe out there. Hundreds of flights have been canceled as a winter storm continues to impact much of the U.S. Over 500 flights have already been canceled for today. That's on top of the more than 300 flights canceled yesterday. Strong winds and heavy snow have been forecasted across the west and upper Midwest. Flight delays and cancellations are expected to increase through Thursday, so check your flight before you head out to the airport. Stay up to date on the weather in our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has school closings, hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. We now know who will be on the ballot for the April election. The Madison mayoral race will see current mayor Satya Rose Conway and consulting firm leader Gloria Reyes on the ballot in April. Mayor Rose Conway cleared 60% of the vote, while Reyes claimed 28% of the vote. Liberal Milwaukee Judge Janet Protasewicz says the top vote getter, claiming 46% of the vote. The second candidate moving on is former Supreme Court member and conservative Dan Kelly. He claimed 24% of the vote. He was closely trailed by conservative candidate Jennifer Doro, who received around 23,000 less votes. Some say Protasewicz got there by taking what some would call an unconventional approach, by talking directly about the issues head on and the values she'll bring to the Supreme Court.
Throughout this race, I have been absolutely clear about what my values are. And that's because I believe the voters of this state deserve to know what a candidate's values are.
Protasewicz's opponent, conservative-leaning Dan Kelly, taking a jab, saying Protasewicz is putting personal values over the law.
She's come out and said that she's all about her personal values, not the rule of law. She's promised to put her thumb on the scales of justice to make sure that cases come out the way she wants them to come out, rather than based on what the law commands.
In response to that, Protasewicz says everybody deserves a fair shot and that she'll represent that in the state's highest court. A reminder, the spring general election is on April 4th. For all of the results from yesterday's races, look for our election section on channel3000.com. There, you'll also find extensive coverage and interviews. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. An investigation is underway into a freight train derailment in Nebraska. And Home Depot says it's raising its starting pay. That's next in the Money Watch Report.
Do you feel stuck living in a cold and drafty home? Well, there's a better solution than just turning up the heat. Because heating your home is by far the most expensive part of your energy bills. At USA Insulation, we fix cold homes. Most houses are built with builder's grade insulation. So when we fill your walls with our high efficiency foam, your house stays warm without turning up the heat, which saves you a lot of money. So call now and save up to 30% with the brand new energy credit.
USA Insulation.
Don't delay. The Brothers Maine President's Day sale is happening now. Shop local and save with tremendous deals on Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, and Amana appliances. We have the area's largest selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. Feel like family. Brothers Maine.
Want a flatter, tighter tummy? Then check out new Ab EX from Sono Bello.
Doctor, after my pregnancies, my body just never bounced back. I had this stomach overhang that made me really self-conscious.
It's not your fault. That stubborn fat and excess skin is extremely hard to get rid of with diet and exercise alone.
That's exactly why I went to Sono Bello. I really trust their team of experts, and I finally got the flat stomach I had always wanted.
Introducing Ab EX from Sono Bello. Remove fat and lose excess skin permanently in just one visit.
Ab EX is a great alternative to a tummy tuck. So that stomach overhang that you mentioned becomes a flat, tight tummy fast with minimal downtime.
Schedule your free, no obligation consultation now to learn more about Ab EX by Sono Bello. Call 1-800-848-9429 or go to sonobello.com.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet? Commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
An investigation is underway into a freight train derailment in Nebraska yesterday. No one was hurt when roughly 31 cars carrying coal ran off the tracks. It comes as the Environmental Protection Agency has taken charge of the cleanup following the toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. President Biden received an update yesterday from Ohio lawmakers and his EPA administrator. Today, former president and 2024 Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is expected to visit East Palestine. Home Depot says it's raising its starting pay to $15 an hour beginning this month. It's part of the home improvement chain's $1 billion investment for workers across its more than 2,000 stores in the U.S. and Canada. Home Depot's CEO says the pay hike will help the company attract and retain the best talent. And today, Mickey D's lovers in Germany can start ordering the new plant-based McNuggets. The nuggets are made from peas, corn, and wheat with a tempura batter. The product marks the second partnership between McDonald's and Beyond Meat following the McPlant. That plant-based sandwich also launching in Germany this week after its success in the UK, Ireland, Austria, and the Netherlands. McDonald's says its plant-based offerings have fared better in Europe, though they could eventually become available in other markets, depending on customer demand. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrial's up 99 points. The NASDAQ up 46. The S&P 500 up 10.5. Next at noon, Pam will share today's egg prices, and Greg has our first warn forecast as the alert day continues. And then today on Live at 4, we'll meet the team behind a local documentary honoring the Union Tavern outside of Evansville. That's coming up at 4.
It's never been a better time for a fresh start with Feldco. Jumpstart your home's upgrade this month with 40% off Feldco windows, siding, doors, and roofing. Plus, no money down and no interest until 2024. Warmer weather's on its way. Get your home ready now and enjoy your windows all season long. Make your home feel new again with Feldco. But hurry, 40% off ends Tuesday. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
DePaco Credit Union protects your well-being, supports you through life's many surprises. Because when our members love life, it makes a brighter community for all. DePaco can help you be well.
With reliable COVID-19 results in just 15 minutes, everyone is making room for Binax Now in their medicine cabinet.
Do we still need these pregnancy tests?
Yeah, no. Out with the old, in with the #1 COVID-19 self-test in the U.S. With the same technology doctors use to test for COVID-19. Binax Now.
Memories matter. This bend on Cox Hollow Lake was one of Dad's favorite fishing holes. Crest Funeral and Cremation Service helped us make sure he's never forgotten. Making it personal. It's how you heal. We are Crest. We truly believe your memories matter.
Tomorrow, the winter storm will continue to trigger another alert day. I'll have a first look at your snow and ice conditions.
And we're on the live drive to help you navigate those area roadways.
We're taking action to keep your family safe tomorrow from 4:30 to 7.
For 20% of its victims, the fallout from concussion can last months or years.
It affects their work, their family life. It affects everything.
News 3 Now, Charlotte Deleste shares her personal battle with the invisible injury. Thursday at 10. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report, who's going to be in Green Bay today, but thought the better of to stay home.
Well, you know, like you said, you saw those folks down in Janesville just dealing with, I shouldn't say just, but dealing with the ice. Here in Madison, a lot of the same. Up by Green Bay, they've got a lot more snow, and it started earlier today. That being said, yesterday already, the U.S. Cheese Championship folks had announced that they were adjusting their schedule. Now, imagine this winter storm comes in, but you still have more than 2,200 entries of cheese, butter, yogurt, all kinds of different dairy complex that have to be evaluated. You've got about 52 judges that are doing the work. So what they've decided is today they are going to wrap up all their judging. They had expected some to carry over into tomorrow, but they want to try to get everything done today up at the Resch Expo Center in Green Bay so that they can send some of their volunteers and all of their judges home pretty much. They are still going to be announcing the champions tomorrow at 2 p.m., and they're going to be doing that all basically remotely on their website, the USChampionCheese.org website, and their Facebook page, again, US Champion Cheese. So that is how they are pivoting, I guess we'd say, because of the weather. And like I said, right now, Green Bay's already got quite a bit more measurable snow than we do already here in southern Wisconsin. Talking a little bit more about what's going on as far as the markets, keeping an eye on the average size of Wisconsin farms. The latest numbers from the Wisconsin Ag Statistical Service show that the average size farm is still 222 acres, unchanged from 2021. 14.2 million acres of our land in the state dedicated to agriculture. And the number of farms in Wisconsin, 64,100, unchanged from 2021. I bring that up because sometimes people get confused. They hear about we lost dairies. We didn't lose farms. They may not be dairying anymore, but they're still involved in production agriculture. No change on 40-pound block cheese or AA butter today, but our barrel cheese gained $1 3/4 to $1.60. So like I said, I feel bad for my buddies at the U.S. Championship Cheese deal. That they wanted to have a good party tomorrow for the champions and spend some time. One lady yesterday I talked to, Mary Lindeman from Pine River Cheese, she said, it's a cheese community, a family. So they wanted time to get, enjoy themselves. This weather's not going to allow for it.
No, you can't do anything about it. All right. Thank you, Pam.
Yeah.
You may have noticed a certain butter product missing from store shelves. The company is one of many that's been phasing out widely used chemicals that's been found to be toxic from its wrapping. Dina Demetrius explains.
It's as natural as the day my great-grandfather made the butter.
Irish Kerrygold butter is prized by many consumers for its grass-fed goodness. But what consumers may not have realized, that grease-resistant wrapper contains per- or polyfluoroalkyl carbons, PFAS for short, a toxic artificial compound.
They last forever. They're called the forever chemicals because they're very persistent.
University of Notre Dame biochemist Graham Peasley co-authored studies on PFAS. His team uses a special particle accelerator to test fluorine levels in products.
They are used in over 1,600 different industrial processes and products. They make Teflon pans non-sticky. They make clothing waterproof. They make packaging waterproof.
In late 2022, Kerrygold stopped restocking its foil-wrapped butter to retool its packaging for California and New York ahead of new state PFAS laws. The company provided a statement that reads in part, "We will continue to ensure packaging for our products remains compliant with all relevant state legislation and regulatory requirements." Kerrygold's butter wrapping is not linked to bad health outcomes, but PFAS in general have been linked to certain cancers and other health dangers like high cholesterol and preeclampsia in those who are pregnant.
We've since discovered that all these PFAS are immune suppressants. So they suppress your immune system. And that means any opportunistic disease, including some types of cancer, could take over.
11 states now have rules either banning or reducing PFAS levels in items ranging from carpets, clothing, and cosmetics to food wrappers and containers. Many companies have voluntarily removed intentionally added PFAS from their products or packaging. The site PFAS Central by scientists at the Green Policy Institute lists dozens of companies with PFAS-free products, including Clean at Sephora, IKEA, H&M, and Chick-fil-A food packaging.
The big companies have pledged to phase out by 2025, and the smaller companies are already doing it.
Peasley says they're hard to come by, but consumers should start looking for labels that say no PFAS. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Let's head over to the weather center now. Greg has the very latest on the winter storm.
Yep, another winter storm, but we got about maybe 24 hours, 36 at the most, and then we should be done with this. But in the meantime, it's going to be quite impactful for many areas. So like I said, we have a winter storm warning still to the areas to the north. This is for a combination of snow, but if you get down in our area, it's more snow and sleet, with some mix of freeze and rain, especially today. Ice storm warning for significant ice to the south that remains in effect. That's where more of it will be freezing rain than any other type of precipitation. We should see a lot of this taper off overnight, and then especially by tomorrow morning, we won't see much more in the way of really accumulating precipitation. It'll be still lingering. So if you break that down, really south of US 51, that's accumulation of where the significant ice is. Possible trees, limbs. We could have some damage here, especially if we get the winds combination with the ice on top of it. Precipitation should taper off more after midnight, maybe some flurries, drizzle, something like that after midnight. For north, we'll still see some sleet with freezing drizzle up to the Dells. I think accumulation won't be as significant with the ice. We'll still have the snow-sleet combination, which once again could be maybe 1 to 2 inches Madison. You go up to Dells, 4 to 5 inches once again. Then if we go up north of the Dells, it's a different story. That's where you get more of the heavy snow blowing and drifting. That's where they got the winter storm, significant accumulation, maybe a break in snow after midnight. They could see a little bit of sleet mix in there for this evening, but majority of that time will be snow with some significant accumulation as we go into it. We time out this big mess coming up here. You can see here's a really large system beginning to pull off. You can see there's your break between snow, mix, and rain over the area. That'll begin to lift off tonight. It'll start weakening. We'll start seeing the back edge of this snow kind of come through tomorrow early morning through about noon with some maybe snow, a little bit of mixture here, not accumulating any sort of issues, and then we'll see the north winds really pick up. We should clear out, I think, by the time we get to Friday, cool off, but then we got another wave down to the south coming up. But if you look at this closer view of where we see this mixed rain, you can see that line is going to be just north of Madison throughout the afternoon hour. Sleet here, more freezing rain here. You go further south into Illinois, it switches all the way to rain. This will continue through the evening. That's when I think the accumulation is the greatest. Once we get towards 10, 11 o'clock at night, we're going to start seeing this kind of break up a little bit. So it's more scattered in nature, not as much accumulation. You can see the snow north of Dells continues. As we go past midnight, you can see it's still kind of scattered after that. Towards tomorrow morning, we'll still see some areas that will kind of switch back over to snow showers as the colder air begins to wrap through the system and pull through the area. So you'll see that in the early mornings to about noon. Not a lot of accumulation with this during this period of time. The winds will start turning back. You can see there's your low coming lifting up. So we'll see that through the afternoon, but I think the hardest issues will be during the morning time. We get towards the afternoon, we should just be seeing cloud cover, but some strong breezy northerly winds as some of the cold air starts to come down. You notice the temperatures really won't move much, probably kind of drop a little bit off tomorrow evening. And then tomorrow night we should kind of clear out, which means it could be a very cold come Friday morning, single digits with the cold air. Snowfall, this is snow/sleet combination. This is additional what's already occurred. So 1 to 3 down here. You go further north, they could be 6 to 10 of actual snow. Central Wisconsin to across to Minneapolis, that's where they're going to see significant snow. Could be 8 to a foot more additional snow than they've already seen. Further south here, a combination of sleet, freezing rain. Like I said, you could get up to a ½ inch of ice. Maybe a quarter is probably going to be more common, but that's where the significant issues will be. That's what we'll be seeing here for an overall future track. There's your kind of ice accumulation, what we're seeing. 1/10 to 2/10 further up to Madison. Could be 2/10 to maybe a ½ inch as you get towards, and that's why we have the ice storm warnings out for those areas. Otherwise, once again, a cold Friday, definitely 18 degrees, so that'll definitely be a chill back to what we've not seen lately. And then we improve for the weekend, but we have that little bit of snow chance Friday night, nothing significant. And then we have another system, which this time it looks like we're going to be on the warm side come Sunday night and Monday, 44 with rain. So that looks like we won't be dealing as much with any freezing precipitation, but the after pattern does continue.
But the meteorological spring is next Wednesday, right?
That's correct.
There you go.
That means we switch, right?
Just be careful out there.
Yeah, very much.
If you have to go out, be very careful.
Yep.
All right, Greg, thank you. Let's see now what Howard is working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
The fact that the sea is bigger than a bay has a lot to do with what we're whipping up today. Any ideas what it could be?
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
All you have to do is point.
Yes!
1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Break up with your junk. Save $41 with the code BREAKUP41.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. 833-WISC-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
It starts as a kitchen built for right now and grows with you as life changes. Clearview Cabinetry is flexible by design, so you can go from doors to drawers for storage that works at every stage. And the style is so easy to update, you can do it in a snap, meaning you don't have to remodel your space to make it work even better. Because it's not just a kitchen, it's the center of your universe. Clearview Cabinetry, 11% off at Menards.
All you have to do is point.
Yes!
1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Break up with your junk. Save $41 with the code BREAKUP41.
The other day, I was at a restaurant and had some of the best scallops I've had in a long time. And it dawned on me, as I was eating them, that I haven't shared a scallop recipe with you in quite some time. So let me show you my take on the dish that I thought was so good. We'll dry some sea scallops on a paper towel before seasoning them with a bit of salt and pepper. And if you're not sure how to tell the difference between sea scallops and bay scallops, here's a way to remember. Bay scallops are the smaller ones since they come from a bay, which is smaller than the sea. After these are sauteed, we take them out of the pan and cover them to keep them warm while we add some chopped onion, garlic, tomatoes, and a little more salt and pepper. Once they're tender, we add a splash of white wine, or we can use chicken broth, along with some capers. Then all we have to do is serve this over our scallops, and we have a restaurant fancy meal. Maybe serve this over a bed of wilted spinach to make it even more la-di-da. And don't forget to spoon all that flavor-packed sauce over them, too. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our bistro pan-seared scallops, so you'll have this easy gourmet recipe right at your fingertips. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fancy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Here's Greg with a quick update.
Yeah, we still have all the precipitation, so you're going to see sleet, snow, and ice. So more updates this afternoon on this impending storm.